Sonic CD! That one Sonic game where you time travel by using signposts. About a month ago or so, I completed the first Sonic the Hedgehog by doing the Ultimate Challenge. And as I've said, I will be splitting the series into 5 so that I have more time to relax and to work on other projects. So think of this as a part 2 of 5 of some sorts. Enough beating around the bush. Let's get in. Here is the Sonic CD Ultimate Challenge. The rules! I will be using the Sonic Origins version of Sonic CD because of mirror mode and the quality of life improvements. We have to follow the 7 Chaos rules. Nah, let's just make it the 7 time rules. It fits this game better. No partner, which means Tails is out of the equation, which does not really matter because you can't tag along with him in this game. No killing badniks. What counts as a badnik? If Sonic frees a animal, or in this case a flower, and gains points, that counts as killing a badnik. There are these generators in each level, and if you destroy it, it will result in killing all of badniks in the level, so I will be avoiding them. I will still be doing bosses, but that is it. No checkpoints. I can still hit them, but I can't use them as, well, checkpoints. I will be able to use mirror mode to hurt my level memory. No time stones, which in this game it's not that bad because they're basically useless apart from saving the future. But nobody cares about that. No utilizing Sonic's abilities. This includes spin dashing and drop dashing and the super peel out. I can still roll off the slopes, but it's not recommended because I might accidentally hit an enemy. And finally, I can only use Sonic. With the rules out of the way, let's go through time. Wait, hold on. There we go. Sonic is off on another one of his adventures. To stop Robotnik and finds a planet called Little Planet, chained to a rock shaped like Robotnik. So obviously Sonic has to head up to Little Planet to stop Robotnik from taking over the planet. The little one. Okay, we got that cleared up. Palmtree Panic Zone 1. Now do be cautious, because once you launch up onto the ramp, go as close to the ramp as you can because you might accidentally hit an enemy. And be mindful of your surroundings. Sure, you might accidentally time travel to the past or future, but just don't hit a badnik, and you will make it to the end of the stage. Palmtree Panic Zone 2. Thankfully, most of the levels in Sonic CD are rather short, and the lack of the ability to use checkpoints, it's really not that bad. There are a lot more of the flying badniks, and they blend in with the environment quite well, so do keep an eye for that. And don't go too far when using the tunnels. You are curled up into a ball, which is Sonic's most dangerous state in this challenge. I really hope that we don't have to be in ball forms for some bit of the level in the later levels, but I doubt that, and that is another level cleared. Palmtree Panic Zone 3. Now, all the Zone 3s in this game are boss levels, and there are a few enemies here and there, but oh no! There is a boss! Whatever will I do? Well, that was easy, and that is another zone cleared. Collision Chaos Zone 1. This stage starts off with Amy being Amy, then suddenly, Metal Sonic comes out of nowhere and kidnaps Amy. So now we have to save Amy and stop Dr. Robotnik's plans. This stage is more themed around pinball mechanics. See where this is going? I swear, the level designers were onto something. Not in a good way. The Badniks were not too annoying, unlike some of the other specific stages where they make me want to rip my hair out. There is also one section where you have to go to the past to access a right now blocked path. But overall, it's all fun and games, and towards the end, the bumper and springs were not well placed. And we zoom to the exit, and that is another level cleared. Collision Chaos Zone 2. The glittering bugs are there. I don't know what their purpose is, but they certainly exist. The crystal balls were scary because I am worried that I would hit an enemy and have to restart the stage. The slopes with the Mantis Badniks were really not that great. Pinball bumpers are certainly something, and like the previous zone, the springs and bumpers near the end were not well thought out of. And we zoom to the exit, and that is another stage cleared. Collision Chaos Zone 3. Thankfully there are no enemies in sight, but once we reach Dr. Robotnik, we play a game of pinball, and time the jumps, and it's already done. On to the next zone. Hopefully it's not a water level. Tidal Tempest Zone 1. Hey, at least they could have pulled a labyrinth. In this zone, you can actually avoid the water. The water in this level is not too bad because the air bubbles are much easier to collect, but there are a few flying and swimming badniks here and there, and a few traps. But after a little bit, the level's already done. Tidal Tempest Zone 2. This zone was a little harder than the first. There are a few flying and swimming badniks that you can accidentally hit. I recommend going to the middle route and grabbing the future post to go back to the future. Then go to the bottom route and go on this rising platform and clear yet another water level. I guess the water levels are not that bad in this game. Tidal Tempest Zone 3. Yet another boss level without an enemy. All you really have to do is beat up Robotnik and do it again, but gulping up bubble airs. And that is another zone cleared. Quartz Quadrant Zone 1. Now here, there is a lot of time travel posts. And this presents us with a new problem, pun not intended. When you have collected a time travel post and you reach enough speed, Sonic will be able to kill any badnik that gets in his way. And this means that we have to be extra careful whenever we hit the time travel posts. So what I would recommend is going to the future with the beginning, future post, then clear the level that way. And with that, that is another zone cleared. Quartz Quadrant Zone 2. Like the last zone, do be careful when you have the time travel posts, because there are a lot of enemies in this level. There are the conveyor belts, which I don't really know how to feel about them. And the caterpillars are not as annoying as they were in Sonic 1. And that's all I can really describe in this level. And that is another stage cleared. Quartz Quadrant Zone 3. Now, although there's no enemies in this level, this is one of 2 levels I struggled with without abilities. Robotnik made a conveyor belt, and once Sonic hits him, Robotnik is now sanding his own machine. And the bombs were made into a problem because I can't instantly gain speed. And I can't spin dash and peel out, so I can't instantly gain speed. I have to gradually get speed to keep up the sanding. And then we get far enough to the point where Robotnik can't handle it anymore and he has to abandon his machine. And that is another zone complete. Dang, this challenge is not too bad. Hope there isn't a level where it sucks my ass. Okay, who the thought this stage was a good idea? Wacky Workbench Zone 1. Also through my eyes is the Labyrinth of Sonic CD. Now, why am I bashing on what seems to be a normal level? Well, just take a look for a second. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Because bouncing is basically this entire level's thing, so you have to carefully deal with a level like this. Well, there is one strategy that I like to use, other than praying for your life. First, always stay on the platforms. If you by any chance fall off, you are very likely to hit an enemy. The ice laser really sucks. You have to be very careful around it, and if you screw up the run, you have to start all over. But after 10 minutes, I beat Zone 1. So the next one should be not that bad, right? Wacky Workbench Zone 2. This stage, this concept, the level design. This is the longest I spent on a level with these challenge rules. To make things worse than the previous zone, there are these rotating poles that you have to time when you launch and when you are constantly in ball form. So what? You can just take the lower path. Right. Well, guess what? Would you rather play chance of hitting an enemy by ground or play chance by hitting an enemy on pole? Well, you have to do the poles because there are not very many platforms that bounce like in Zone 1. And to add salt to the wound, you have to avoid flying badniks, and you don't know where they are. You just have to hope that you don't kill an enemy or you restart the entire stage. And the other time periods layouts don't do good either. You still have to use the poles, and I spent way too long on this level, and I'm just tired of this level. I took too many routes, and even then, the enemies kept screwing me over and over. And without the super peel out, I can't skip some of these sections. So after 50 long minutes, I finally got lucky and beat the stage. Wacky Workbench. This level sucks. Enough said. Wacky Workbench Zone 3. Okay, I am absolutely done with this frickin' zone. Thankfully, there are no enemies, which, thank gosh, I hated doing that in the last 2 zones. Robotnik uses the floor to bounce platforms, and that's another boss done. And we beat this zone. I might say that this is just as, if not worse than Labyrinth Zone. Wacky Workbench. Finally, a zone where I can rest on. Stardust Speedway Zone 1. My only problem with this zone is you have to be very careful whenever you go through tunnels in the Speedway. And you will curl up into a ball and possibly hit an enemy. That did not happen to me as much as I thought. Just be careful with these ghost-looking enemies. Although this zone has some wacky design, this level is already cleared. Stardust Speedway Zone 2. My biggest struggle with this level were the light bulb enemies. Just hope that they don't cause a problem in the later few levels. Like last level, this level design is wacky, and the tunnels were scary, you actually go fast, and that is another level cleared. Stardust Speedway Zone 3. Like Quartz Quadrant Zone 3, I struggled without the super peel out and the drop dash and the spin dash. This time we are racing against Metal Sonic, while Robotnik has an instant death laser that he so happens to never use again. And during the race, you have to avoid Metal Sonic's attacks while jumping over ledges and spikes. But finally, we beat Metal Sonic and save Amy. And that is Stardust Speedway cleared. Metallic Madness Zone 1. Here we are, the final stretch of the game. While not being as challenging as Wacky Workbench, this level is still difficult and has a lot of stuff going on throughout the level. The solid enemies are simple to avoid, and this spiky thing gets me every time. And I was tricked into thinking that these were spike platforms that would launch me up. Spoiler alert, they don't. But this level feels more like Scrap Brain Zone than anything else. And, oh, this level's already done. Metallic Madness Zone 2. Now this is the longest level in the game. And I was right. This is just basically Scrap Brain Zone. Now after wasting a few minutes screwing around, even though when I should be going vertical, I spent a few minutes not knowing what I should be doing. And this platform should be going faster if it were to launch Sonic that far. One quick time travel later, I finally get my stuff together and got up. Now, I'm not going to be counting this bomb as a kill because I am not the reason for its demise. And after avoiding the enemies, we make it to the mini Sonic section. From this point on, there are no major enemies. And just avoid being crushed into oblivion, avoid Spike Tetris? I don't know how to describe it. And that is our final non-boss level complete. Nothing can go wrong with this challenge. Metallic Madness Zone 3. Alright, the final level. The moment we have all been waiting for. The final. Wait a second. Something is not right. Okay, sure, there's one Badnik on the top route, but you can easily dodge it. Well, let's just say that there is a required gauntlet of enemies right near the final Robotnik fight. So that means we can't pass because we have to kill 3 Badniks. We can't clip out because we are not in the original version of the game, and I'm not sure if we can even activate the boss if we clip. So unfortunately, we were so close, yet so far. Alright, it is time to answer the question. Can you beat the Sonic CD Ultimate Challenge? Unfortunately, you cannot. The reason is because of those light bulb enemies at the very end of the game. And I do not recommend this challenge. Nobody would like to deal with Wacky Workbench. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next month. Probably with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Ultimate Challenge, but I might have another challenge at hand as of writing the script. Have a good day, and I will see you in 1 month. Do 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 do.